This is the front of Wes McGowen and Amber McGowen's house. We have two boys and a girl. Mia is in the vehicle here, and we're leaving out on our first adventure. We're headed down. We live on the hill above the cemetery in Fanshawe. We live north of the highway on School Street. So here we go. It is March 30th. It's a Sunday evening, and we are headed out. Right now, the red bud trees and the dogwood trees are in full bloom around our area. Everything is just really getting greened up a little bit before it really gets hot and muggy here. As we come to the end of our driveway, we're going to be hitting School Street, and the cemetery will be on our left. We call that Bradford pear tree the Dole Brandon tree because Dole Brandon was buried right there. You may know some of the Brandon family, I'm not sure. This is the Free Will Baptist Church. We're coming up on the back of the building. And right here to the right would be what was my grandma Hedda Jackson's house place. They moved the house, and the next house over is where Hazel and Clarence McGowen lived. This is the front of the Fanshawe Cemetery, the entranceway. To our right, between here and the highway, is where the first school in Fanshawe was built. There was a two-story school building there. I do not remember that, but I have seen a picture of it in a book before, and that is why that was called School Street, where we just came from. But the current school is on down the road just a little ways. Junior McGowen Lane. My great uncle Junior, who would be Clarence McGowen's brother, used to live here, and then the McGowen family lived here before. The house is still here, and back here in the woods. We're going to pull up there and then turn around. But this would be where Jess and Myrtle McGowen lived and raised their family. east on Highway 270 toward Worcester. On the left is Greg and Sally McGowen's house where I was raised and my two sisters. And then the next place up will be the Perkins family, where Linda Perkins still lives. Donald and Johnny Faye were her parents, and Bill Perkins was her father. And now we're crossing the Coal Creek Bridge. There's a shot of Coal Creek. See along the railroad, there's lots of trees blowing. Here's a sign for the Hicks Chapel. This is Hicks Chapel Road. We're not going to go down it right now. We're going to turn around and go back the other way, but that's where we're at. Hicks Chapel goes to the north. Gotta wait on a big truck. As we head west back into Fanshawe, there's not much left of the old town. Again, on the right is the Free Will Baptist Church. Main Street. We're going across the railroad tracks to the south. You have our new fire department building and our little Fanshawe Park. And on the left side of the road you have the Community of Christ Church, which is where me and Mia had attend church. Dean Holderfield used to live right there on the right. He has passed away. Isabel Carney lives in this home right here on the right. Not many people left that you would remember from the olden days. Shorty and Eileen Newby, when I was a kid, lived in this home that's on the right. Currently nobody lives there. And behind it is used to be the Donathan place. Once upon a time, Clarence McGowen owned that, and then down below that is actually Blue Hole, if you ever remember hearing about Blue Hole. We're headed back west on the top road here in Fanshawe. Okay, so we're standing in front of the old Hughes School building. We do not know a lot about the school grounds here, but it was surrounded with a rock wall that you can see. Now you're looking toward the highway, and you can kind of make out the old rock wall through the trees there. We're going to step up into the building and check it out. Briars in the way. There's a room to the left of some kind. The wall on the west side has fell in. We're kind of climbing out of it here. Now looking at the back side of the building. Not sure what this outbuilding is that's in front of you now. It's made out of rock and built into the rock wall that goes around the school campus. And then here to the left is an old cellar. This would be north and west of the main school building. There's another rock structure tied into the north rock wall of the campus here. We'll take a peek inside it. And then one more square built rock structure. Not sure what this was either. So this is us exiting the old Hughes School grounds out the back wall where there's a hole in it. There's a look up the new Highline wire. You can see everything's really started greening up around here. Here's a peek of the back outside wall looking in at the old building. Okay, we are headed south on Hughes Road toward LaFleur. Fixing to turn left on Lebowski Road. Lebowski Road, we're turning left on it off of Hughes Road. We'll be traveling east, and when we come out on the other end of this, we'll be on Cedar Creek Road. Looks like somebody's got a goat out. Crossed over a cattle guard, which changed us to property owners from some of the Duncans. Now we're on some of the old Lloyd Brannon property. His son Rick Brannon still owns this and runs cattle on it. Probably one of the few county roads left where the cattle actually free range across the county road. Kid, this right here was the end of our hayride coming in from the other way, and we'd always get a story about the old hanging tree from Howard Raines. And Howard is the son of Herbert and Savella Raines, and Savella was a Jackson, and Elbert Jackson and Odell Jackson were her brothers. That would be my great aunt. This next cattle guard right here, when I was a kid, this was what we called the Bus Juan place. I just remember him living in a little house right here along the county road and raising hogs. crossing onto another cattle guard, and this changes property owners again. And this is the old J.T. Reyna place. Larry Reyna still owns this and runs cattle here. As you can see, one of them is here in the county road. Crossing another cattle guard, and immediately we'll cross Cedar Creek, and now we'll be on the Raines' place. This would have been Herbert and Savella's, and then Howard Raines and Janet Raines, and now I believe Brett Raines and Russell Raines own this. Those brothers. Russell still lives in Howard and Janet's house up here. I don't believe anybody's living in Herbert and Savella's house. We'll see those here in a minute. House. Coming on the back side of it. Turn left on Cedar Creek Road back toward Highway 270. We're looking north on the west side of the Fanshawe Cemetery. I'm gonna drive around it here. is Sunday, April 13th. Back up here and give you a shot of the cemetery. Gonna turn east on Highway 270. Crossing Coal Creek. We're going to turn left or north on Hicks Chapel Road. stop out here kind of on what we call the mountain. Will be Joe Teal Lane will turn to the right. You'll see that road. Just a couple of houses down it. That's Joe Teal turning. This T, Hicks Chapel continues to the left, and then Round Mountain Road goes down to the right. We're going to go down to the Hicks Chapel Cemetery and our turnaround. Several of the Branscombe families live right up here in the area we're at right now. All right, we're inside the Fanshawe gymnasium. We just redid our court this last year on our floor. It's not new wood, but it's repainted, sanded down. This is what this is inside the old WPA gymnasium. There's our new grizzly head. I thought you might be interested in some. In Oklahoma now they have a K-8 organization, kindergarten through 8th grade schools that participate in athletics, and they have playoffs and state tournaments, and we've had some success. But here's some of the old banners from years ago. I have a aunt on that team, Judith McGowen, and a cousin, Virginia McGowen. And then a lot of the others are more current day. These up here on the top are some of our state championships. I'm sure there'll be names that you recognize. Right there's Mia on that team, who's with me, and that one, and that one. back up here, the home down here on the left is where Gene Newby lived once upon a time. I don't know if you remember Gene Newby, but he had like a bluegrass band years ago, the Gene Newby and the Round Mountain Boys. On the right is the old First Baptist Church House. As you can see, it is about to be no longer. Turning right and going down Susie Wolf Trail. Might be a name you remember from the old days.
Watch out for that
Susie Wolf's house set about right here, the right about to turn left back on Main Street toward the highway. Somewhere right here in this general vicinity near the railroad is where the old pulpwood yard was once upon a time. Things there before my Fanshawe School driveway. Gymnasium there in front of us. It's a 1940 WPA building. And then what we use as the school cafeteria there is a 1939 WPA building, but the old timers tell me that's there was 4 classrooms in that building. And here's our newer school building. The building burned in the late 80s, and this building was rebuilt with the brick from the old building, and it's the one we operate in today. turning west on the highway again. Approaching the LaFleur County, Latimer County line, and right here at the county line, sign off for a few minutes. Chapel Cemetery. back this way, it'd be a nice view of the mountains to the south of Fanshawe. That'd be Winding Stair Mountain over there. We're actually probably blocked from Winding Stair by Blue Mountain right here where we're at. Thinking back on it.